This is Let's Talk to Lucy, starring Lucille Ball. Nice to have you with us. We're here every weekday, you know. I'm Gary Morton, and now...
Hi, this is Lucy, and I'm out at Warner Brothers Studio visiting the set of Marriage on the Rocks, a new motion picture comedy starring Frank Sinatra, Deborah Kerr, and Dean Martin. Believe it or not, my guest today is Mr. Frank Sinatra. And here we are sitting with Frank Sinatra in his dressing room at Warner Brothers Studio. How about that? Hi, Frank.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm fine. You know, it ain't easy catching up with you.
Well, I've been busy between the picture and getting home on weekends down to Palm Springs and some recording dates. And I had a cold for 3 weeks. I've had it since 1962, I think.
Now that you're back as an actor, is it a little strange? You made quite a splash as a director recently.
Well, I don't know how big a splash it was, but I enjoyed it, Lucy, and I think I'd like to do it again. However, I think that acting is a wonderful business, and I like doing it. I think I like it best of all of the work I do.
Don't you miss the gaiety on a set with someone like Dean Martin and Deborah Kerr or Shirley MacLaine or someone like that when you're not doing this type of comedy? Seriously, don't you kind of miss it? This is the most fun, isn't it?
This is more fun working with a light script like we have. It's a funny script that Cy Howard wrote. Also working with people whom you love and people who are so facile, you might say, who fall into all kinds of situations with you.
But you are absolutely great in a picture I saw recently called Von Ryan's Express.
Oh, that's one of my favorite jobs, Lucy.
Oh, that is a magnificent picture and so beautifully photographed. Did Bill Daniels do that?
Bill Daniels photographed it, and Mark Robeson directed it. I think they both did tremendous jobs in the
Where
picture.
was that location?
Most of the picture was shot in Italy, from Rome and up north from Rome, all the way up to Cortina. Then we spent a couple of days in Spain, and then we finished it here on the lot in Los Angeles.
Well, it's a fabulous picture. Very well done. We enjoyed it so much. We ran it at the house.
I'm glad you liked it.
When does it come out?
It opens June the 23rd in New York and the 24th in Los Angeles, and the ensuing dates I don't know yet, but they'll be right on the tail of the other dates.
I guess now that I'm at Warner Brothers, I shouldn't be talking about Von Ryan's Express, right?
I don't know why not. I mean, it's a picture business. I think it's important that all studios come up with a good one once in a while. I hope, anyway.
Yeah, that's the answer I wanted. Your beautiful daughter is in this picture, I understand?
Nancy plays my daughter in this
Little
picture.
Nancy with a laughing face?
Yes. But I didn't give her the job, Luce. I had nothing to do with it.
Was it a surprise to you?
No. You see, Bill Daniels, aside from photographing this Marriage on the Rocks, is the producer of the picture. And Jack Donahue is directing it. So they came to me one day and said, we've made several tests of a lot of young girls to play your daughter, and we decided that little Nancy should play your daughter in the picture. I said, well, if you think you boys who are running the picture think that she should play it, then I say good luck. Let's try it. And she's been marvelous in the picture. Just wonderful.
Very good little actress.
And she's a darling girl.
And she's married to a very fine little actor.
She's married to Tommy Sands, who's an excellent performer.
Our family is in love with another member of your family.
Who that?
Frank Jr.
Oh, well, Frank Jr. is my pride and joy for what he's been doing. I think it's marvelous. You know, he's with the dance band, and I think it's the greatest kind of training that if a kid wants to be a singer or a musician, I think the greatest training is to go on the road with a dance orchestra and work night in, night out, different audiences, and keep trying things.
He's learning.
He's learning, and unfortunately for other kids, there aren't that many orchestras around with whom they can work.
I know, and they somehow don't realize that they should start in their own hometown. They always think they have to come to Hollywood or go to Chicago or New York to get started, and it isn't true, is it?
That's a very good point you make. They don't have to come to the big city if they can serve an apprenticeship almost anywhere that they want to serve it.
That's right. But they don't believe it unless they hear someone like you say it, for instance. We have recently seen Frank Jr. on Password, and he's so cute and so adorable, and I know they've gotten thousands of letters about him.
I don't look at the daytime television. I don't get up till strange hours because I'm up. I'm night people, but I never see daytime television. And I hear he was quite good and very bright, too, for which I'm pleased.
Oh, he was just adorable. He's so good looking and so much like you, Frank. I had no idea. I hadn't had a chance to see that much of him until I saw him that week on Password. And he has your mannerism.
He's come to visit me a couple of times, and it's frightening to watch him. When he says goodbye and leaves the set and walks away, I can see myself walking away like he does. He slouches, and I don't mean that I do it. I have great posture these days. I don't slouch and all that jazz.
Frank, what kind of a director are you? Do you think I'd ever have a chance to be directed by you?
I would adore that, because I am what I think would be called or categorized as an
actor's director.
An actor's director, yes. I don't work too much with the technical part of the picture. I do, but not to any great degree. I prefer expending all of my energies and concentrations on the performer and the dialogue and the action in the picture. And I find that you get marvelous performances when you spend some time with the actors. I have rarely worked with a director who talks to the actors. Rarely.
Yes, I know.
It's a strange thing, you know.
They let you alone too long.
That's right. Preminger was one of the few people, when I did Man with the Golden Arm, he was a tremendous help to me, because it was a difficult role, and he helped considerably. But on the other hand, I did, in the beginning, when I started with From Here to Eternity and some of the other pictures, the directors rarely spoke to us, to any of the actors.
Afraid they would intimidate what your natural talent would bring out, perhaps?
Well, it's a compliment, but I think that sometimes they let it go a little too far, because actors are always a little insecure.
I feel the need of direction.
I think we all do, actually.
Anyone who says they don't is kidding themselves.
Should be back in vaudeville.
Well, maybe I'll have a chance to work with Mr. Frank Sinatra as a director one of these days. Frank, thank you so much for today, and I'm so glad we'll be able to continue our chat tomorrow, because I have a lot of other questions I want to ask you. And thanks to all of you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed our little visit today with Frank Sinatra. Frank is such a hard guy to catch up with these days that I'm delighted that we're going to have him with us again tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.
That about wraps it up for today, folks. This is Gary Martin reminding you that Let's Talk to Lucy is brought to you every weekday at the same time. This is Gary Martin welcoming you to Let's Talk to Lucy, starring Lucille Ball. And now...
Hi, this is Lucy, and again today my guest is Mr. Frank Sinatra. And I'm in Frank's dressing room at Warner Brothers Studio, where Frank, Deborah Carr, and Dean Martin are starring in Marriage on the Rocks. Frank, yesterday, just before we wound up, we were talking about your activities as a director. And I was saying that perhaps one of these days you would direct me in a picture.
And you love my hours, because I don't start till 11 in the morning, and we quit about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But we get the work done, I must say.
I don't know if I could take that. I would be so surprised I didn't have to get up at 5 in the morning.
Well, that's what I mean, you see, to be kind to the ladies. I like that. I mean, being kind to the ladies.
Yes, I know.
Sweet.
You predicated your life on being kind to ladies. And what has it gotten you, Frank? A great life.
Tremendous reputation, that's all I can tell you.
Reputations per se. I think you could teach us all a great lesson, Frank. Because underlying all of the years that I have known Frank Sinatra, I think the one thing that stands out in my mind is how you head for someone who needs you. And therein, I think, spells your reputation. I don't know if our listeners have any idea what the real Frank is that most of us out here are very much aware of. Perhaps you don't like my talking about it, but you have an affinity for that, Frank, and I think that it's a nice thing to talk about. How do you know when we need you? But you do. You have an antenna out.
I wish I had an answer for that, Lucy, but I haven't got one. I know that I concur with what you're saying, that I do, for some particular reason, sense that somebody has a problem. And I'm not a do-gooder, for the use of a word, because I've got enough business to take care of on my own problems to begin with. But I feel that if you can come upon somebody who's in a jam, regardless of size, I mean the size of the problem, I think the nicety of giving to someone is to be there when they least expect you to be there. And that's the thing that I've tried to do throughout my life.
And you certainly have done it.
And I choose not to. This is one of the few times in my life I've ever even discussed it with anybody, as a matter of fact. Because I don't think it's anything you discuss. You do it, and it's over with.
Yes.
And it sure brings out the fact that the truth in the adage that it is better to give than receive, because you get such a warm feeling doing something like that, regardless of what you do.
You know, Frank, that's one of the reasons I like my little radio show, because I get a chance to talk to someone like you in a different vein. Now, like you say, you have never talked about that before, and I don't suppose an interviewer who comes out from the East or from Europe or someplace would even know these things about you. So I'm glad that you gave me a chance to say it, and I got a very nice answer. And
well,
very unusual.
There are a lot of people, Lucy, I think,
Yes.
who help a great deal in this business.
That's
of ours,
right, but
know?
there are a lot of people that those people out there don't know about. That's all, and you're one of them. I just think it's well, it's very commendable, and I love you for it. Your family is such a beautiful family these days.
Yes, they are.
I saw Big Nancy, and I've talked about young Frank, and then little Nancy, and Tommy, and you've got everything sort of in a happy little group again.
And we've got Tina, whom very few people have seen or know anything about.
Where is Tina now?
Tina is, she goes to Marymount School here in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, that's right. She's one of their top pupils.
And she is going to be 17 years old in
what does she want to do?
June. She wants to get married and have children when she's 18 years old. That's her latest wish.
Really?
Yeah. I asked her, did she have any designs in show business? She said, no. She said, I don't think I want anything to do with it. She said, because I don't like all of the hard work and all of that stuff that goes into it. She's a real rebel. She's a marvelous girl and a beautiful child. Really beautiful.
She sure is. I haven't seen her for some time.
She's a beautiful little girl.
The plans for the future, Frank. Could we talk a little bit about
the plans for the future are not too complicated. I will finish this picture in about another 4 weeks, and then I will take about a month's vacation.
In Palm Springs?
Probably.
Or you
maybe
going
go
travel?
to Honolulu. I was thinking about Honolulu, play some golf.
Where, Maui?
No, I don't swim well over there, so I figured I'd stay in Honolulu proper. But after that, I'm going to do a bunch of performances around the country.
Oh.
Both professional and a lot of benefits for instance, one of them is a halfway house in St. Louis, which will be in June. That's an organization backed by the Teamsters Union of the United States, where they take boys who had made a mistake somewhere when they're 13 or 14 years old, and they rehabilitate them. So we're going to do a show in St. Louis. Then I've got to do another one in Washington sometime in July, and several benefits around the country. But aside from that, I will be doing some professional engagements, I believe, with Count Basie.
Oh,
in
marvelous.
the East, particularly in the East. And then I have the whole month of August off.
So do I. How about that?
And I'm just going to, I don't know what I'll do. I'll just take it easy. And then September I begin a film for William Getz and Seven Arts called The Assault on the Queen, which is an adventure story of a group of people who raise a U-boat, a sunken Second World War U-boat, and stick up the Queen Mary in the middle of the ocean. It's an exciting Rod Serling script.
Oh, dear, they're calling you on the set, Frank. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. You have been just wonderful. I'm sure my listeners have gotten a new look at Frank Sinatra. Thank you very much for being with us.
Lucy, it was fun, and we must do it again sometime.
Thank you, and God bless you, dear. I hope you've enjoyed our visit this last couple of days with the fabulous Frank Sinatra as much as I have. Bye now.